So the drill we're going to talk about now is catch-up drill. And I feel like the catch-up drill in the triathlon world sometimes gets a bad rap because when you're in the competitive season, when you're working on specific things, your swim cadence should be fast. And when you do the catch-up drill, your cadence is really slow. And so when you hear people say, well, let's do the catch-up drill, people say, well, that's not triathlon specific. But when you're in the off season, many times in the beginning of the off season, you're doing things that are not specific to, the specific part of racing. So you're doing things very non-specific. And the catch-up drill is one of those things. And so when I have people do the catch-up drill, the couple things that we focus on are maintaining really good balance in the water, and holding good balance when going really slow is actually really difficult. The second thing is working on the recovery phase of the swim stroke. How to recover your arm, where to enter your arm is another part. We work on hip driven through the catch-up stroke. So when you're moving the arm forward, right, through the recovery phase, what's powering that rotation? It's your hips. The hips to the core, to the shoulder, to the hand. And then also we work a lot on the catch phase, under the water, kind of collecting the water under the water. Really coming through and creating that hug effect where you're kind of collecting water and then holding it, and then that hip driving through the other part of it. So, but going back to balance, taking a step back again, is a lot of times when doing catch-up stroke, you want to use fins. Because it is so slow, to kind of keep a little bit better of a body position, using fins will help you focus on the technical things that we're working on. So going back to balance. So balance is when you're doing the catch-up stroke, one arm's out here and the other arm's recovering through, nice high elbow recovery, sternum recovery coming through. And this hand stays here until you touch it, and then you switch. You're balancing on this arm, it's not moving, all the way through, touch, switch, okay? Open the shoulder up, straight arm recovery, you're always through here, touch, switch. So again, balance, you're balancing on this arm. Your body position, from your fingers to your shoulder, to your core, to your hips, to your feet, rely on what this arm is doing. It's balancing you. So don't let it move, don't let it sink as this arm's coming through. Hold it here all the way to your head, right? The second thing is the recovery phase. You've heard me mention straight arm recovery, a bigger recovery, and that's because I'm a firm believer that a straighter arm recovery will help you with a better entrance, keeping your elbow high in the recovery phase, which will keep your elbow high under the water, because many times I see people recover with a very low recovery. So they come through very low, and then when they enter and they reach and their elbow flops, right? They come through very low, enter, flop. So they're entering the water and reaching with a bent elbow. But when you have a straight arm recovery bigger through here, elbow comes in, you enter like you're throwing a ball, come through, enter, boom. Fingers first, elbow second. That's a very good, powerful position to come through, enter, and catch. The third thing like I mentioned, is kind of like that hip-driven freestyle stroke. And so when you have that time on that arm balancing, you're here, you're moving through, and then you take that hip and you move it through. So you're kind of pivoting and you're extending that hip to really get that arm forward as you move in. And then also doing the catch-up drill, you can really focus on the catch phase of your swim stroke. So you're moving through, here, you touch, and then you can really focus on pulling that water back really slow, right? So the catch-up drill can be used for a lot of things. And I do not recommend focusing on all four of the things I talked about. Use the catch-up drill to focus on balance. Use the catch-up drill to focus on the recovery phase. Hip-driven stroke, the catch. Focus on one thing at a time, and the catch-up drill in the earlier part of the year can make a big difference with figuring out that stroke.